One. Brandon's going to check. This is a nice solid check. He's probably planning on calling, letting Tom bluff at it.
I check.
Yep, check, check. Brandon picks it up.
Wow, you're such a weirdo. Nice hand.
Tom Dwan confused by that lead out on the turn. He actually probably thought Adams might have the straight draw, and his fives were good. Adams played it well.
Kenny and I finished 2 bottles of wine tonight, by the way.
I would have played that hand a little different if I knew that.
So, confessions around the table here.
Well, I didn't know that Brandon and Kenny were that close, that they're sharing bottles of wine.
So now Kenny Tran playing his first hand here, and he folded. Tony G gets out of the way, so does the Croc. So does Gus Hansen. And now
Raise.
Brandon Adams, pair of jacks, going to raise it up, 5,000. Alezra will fold, so will Antonius. And now Dwan with an ace-king.
Well, these two have tangled twice already, splitting the first 2 pots, though Dwan got the best of those 2 pots with the bigger pot, but this looks like a spot where it looks like he's going to re-raise.
He does to 16,900.
We could see all the chips going into the middle here before the flop. This could be a big coin flip.
I'm all in.
Yep.
Say all in. I call.
And Dwan calls almost immediately.
I have ace king.
89,600.
Well, certainly Dwan couldn't think about laying down the ace-king.
Get the reload ready, just in case.
This is a good spot for Adams. You see, it's not really a coin flip, 57%.
And here's the flop, Queen 10-8.
An interesting flop.
Oh, Dwan needing an ace, a king, or a jack. Otherwise, Adams going to double up.
The turn is a 10 of diamonds. That's no help to Dwan.
That's not a good card.
Well, he recognizes that the jack is no longer an out, so he's down to an ace or a king, or Brandon Adams is going to double up and get revenge on Durr for cracking his aces earlier.
And here is the river, and it's an ace.
Ooh. Brutal.
That would say it all. And Dwan is going to take down 181,400.
Yeah, I'll give you big chips.
And what's left for Brandon Adams now is just to reach into his pocket for a rebuy, and Tom Dwan gets right into the thick of things here in one big hand.
It's kind of sick with how aggro we've both been playing too.
Well, aggro means aggressive to this 21-year-old whose fearless style is serving him well. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Crown Melbourne. We're on the banks of Australia's Yarra River. Well, if you like to do some shopping, this is one of the finest spots in the world. The Crown property houses such signature brands as Gucci, Harrods, Prada, and Versace. If you want it, you can find it here at the beautiful Crown Melbourne. Eli Alezra is straddling here, so first action this hand goes to Patrick Antonius.
Well, and with that stack, Patrick can probably do a little shopping here.
Dwan will throw his hand away as well. Now Tran with a pair of jacks.
Well, I'm certainly going to raise. Looks like
And he does to 7,500.
this is the first pot we've had where someone straddled for 2,400. Could kick up the action a bit.
Tony G folds the ace-8.
Croc laid it down as well. Wow, Gus Hansen with 2 queens. This is a big hand over hand. We could see a lot of chips going into the middle here before the flop. Gus likes to play his big hands aggressively before the flop.
And he will be just that. Looks like 30,100.
Well, Gus, capable of playing any 2 cards.
And a big decision early for Kenny Tran.
He knows that by playing aggressively before the flop, he often gets the most action that way. I can't see how Kenny can get away from it. In fact, well, I thought he might have moved in, but he just calls.
So 2 players, each with a good hand to the flop. 8-5-4 on the flop, a couple of clubs.
What a horrible flop for Kenny. He's beat, and it didn't come an overcard. If it comes an ace, a king, or a queen, it's a lot easier for him to get away from this hand. He might just have to go bust on this hand. I don't know how he can call before the flop with a pair of jacks and then lay it down on the flop.
So Gus Hansen looks as though he's counting out a healthy raise, and he does. He's going to bet 80,000. And that will be enough to put Kenny Tran all in for 78,900.
I think a lot of players would have already beaten Gus into the pot with a hand like jacks. No, he's going to fold. This is a fantastic play, showing us why he's one of the world's best young players. Kenny Tran with a nice laydown.
And Gus will win 65,400, but not nearly as much as he might have.
I can't tell you how impressed I am with that play. It's just taking a read, going with it, and having the courage of your convictions to lay it down when you think you're beat. Even if you might look the fool on television if you're wrong. If Gus has an ace-king, we'd be talking about what a bad laydown that was.
Well, the action folded to Kenny Tran, who played his pocket fives, raised it to 4,500. Pocket fives for Gus Hansen as well. And he makes the call.
Well, that's the wrong kind of quads for those two. They can't improve their hand unless they make a straight or a flush. Lesra calls in the big blind with king 4 suited.
So 3 players to the flop.
Well, big flop for Ellie, and we know the other two practically can't improve their hand unless they catch a backdoor flush draw or a backdoor straight.
And Kenny Tran's going to bet 8,000.
Well, nearly drawing dead. Have to hit a backdoor hand here.
Hansen folded.
Well, if Ellie knew what great shape he's in, he'd certainly slow play. If he raised, he's probably just going to pick it up.
And he does raise it to 20,000. And Kenny Tran, those fives have not changed.
Can't really see how he can call here or play.
He'll throw it away, and Lesra will pick up a small pot.
Nice laydown, Kenny.
Well, 2 nice laydowns from Kenny Tran, but still some damage done. We're coming back. Back to the FullTiltPoker.net Aussie Millions Cash Game Invitational. Well, this week there have been several fun diversions for all the players down here in Australia, as Rebecca Harlow reports.
The Aussie Millions isn't all business at the poker table. The online players and the pros got to spend an evening on the water enjoying all that Melbourne has to offer.
The spectacular views of the Yarra River were only part of the story, as a very lucky group of amateur players had a chance to get up close and personal with their poker heroes.
It's great just hanging out with the pros and cruising the Yarra River.
It's cool to see, these players that a lot of them haven't played, in a 10,000 main event, and to see their excitement and their energy, it's a really cool experience.
There were card games, a gourmet dinner, Know Your Pros trivia.
By age 14, which tilter called himself a baseball card dealer?